The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
There you go.
Well,
That's
that was
a surprise.
disappointing. Yeah. Thought I'd mix it up with the intro videos this week.
Yeah, that took me by surprise. I didn't expect to be back so soon. I was trying to retweet the live thingy on X, so we were ready to go on there.
You're too used to me saying that Barry Windham is the worst wrestler. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is
You're
true.
waiting for that cue.
I was waiting for that cue. I was, and then I was like, worst. I was like, okay, I know I've got to get off my phone and prepare properly and everything, because I am an absolute professional, of course.
Of course.
Oh, Magsy, I come to you live from a lovely, lovely sunny Gloucester, but I'm in a weird mood, my friend. I'm very tired right now, very tired. I could quite easily go to sleep right now, but I'm also very excited, Mags, because we missed a week, didn't we? And
Well,
we're going to
some
dive
of
right
us,
all the stuff.
Some of us
All the stuff
didn't.
we should have covered. Well, no, all right. No, I had a new job and I didn't know how it was going to go and all that. So,
then messaged me about 10 o'clock that morning saying, "Oh yeah, we're not going tonight." And I'm like, "Thanks, wanker."
I think you'll find it was actually about 9 o'clock.
Oh.
Oh dear. So new job, second week of a new job and so on. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. I got early starts, but I'm also very excited to be back here doing this again. It's also going to be incredibly interesting, Maxie, because anyone who records podcasts with me or anyone who listens to any show I'm a part of is aware that my memory is quite hit and miss with certain things. I can remember really obscure stuff and then important things completely forget. So what's going to happen is later on when we cover our wrestling match, I've got notes, but it's a match I've not seen for over a week. So this could be an absolute car crash.
I mean, you could have done what I did and watched it today as well.
I was gonna, mate. I was gonna. But then I got home from work and I had a pizza and nearly fell asleep. So
Jesus wet.
On the plus
look
side,
look at the effort, folks, he puts into the show. Little to none. Absolutely little to none.
You have no idea how much effort I put into stuff, mate.
I'm sick to death of the taking ibuprofen to cure this backache from carrying him through this show.
Fucking hell. Unbelievable arrogance, mate. Unbelievable arrogance. Dear me. Yes, we have loads. Oh, I'll tell you what I have got though, Maxie. I'll tell you what I've got. I've got possibly one of the greatest entrants into the Hall of Lame ever.
Okay.
It's so ridiculous and insane and so on. In the future shows, I may even link to what I'm talking about for us to watch. It's that bad. But that's for another day and another conversation anyway. Shall we begin the show?
We shall. I mean,
Yeah, shall we do it?
5 minutes in, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you're watching or listening from. This is Chain Wrestling Live, an SJP World Media production, episode 156. I'm fairly confident is the right number. I am Sai. It's not 155.
No, 125.
Yeah, live 125. Yeah. So overall. Live 125, yeah. Overall, it's 156 then, isn't it? Because it was like 30 odd. Yeah. So that's about right, mate.
It is right.
All right. Well, then why did you bring it up and break my fucking stride when I was in full flow?
Come on, act professionally.
Oh, for God's sake. As I said, I am Si, and with me, as always, is the takeover to my rollover when my trousers are that little bit too tight, you know? The ladder to my getting fatter. Indeed, doesn't quite rhyme, but it's true. A podcaster who is always happy to do it himself. Lord Mags, how are things up in Burnley, my friend?
Grim. It's been grim. Horrific weather. We had a 2-day heat wave and then rain. We're due another 3-day heat wave sometime this week, but that's not coming. Then we had to put up with the absolute bullshit that was England, didn't we? And that put me in a bad mood. So yeah, it's been eventful. How shit were they?
Yeah, I mean, just a quick recap about the football, then, I suppose. England are obviously into the quarterfinals, but we're fucking dreadful. I think that's pretty much it, isn't it, Max? That's some thing.
2 games since we last recorded, and both games, I think Mark Gahey had the most touches on the ball in both games because we couldn't pass beyond the back line, and we plucked it out by the skin of our teeth. Yeah, Southgate's got to go. Even if he wins this tournament, he's got to go at it.
Yeah, he's got it. Well, as long as he doesn't end up at Old Trafford, mate, I'll be mortified if that happens. Because there's a lot of rumours, isn't there?
Give Ten Hag a new contract, quick town.
Oh, honestly. Should we dive into the chat, mate, and see who has joined us?
We shall. So, early doors, King Pigsbladder's at 2:30. He's put me and Dan versus Mags and Si Let's Fight, and that is the amazing cover art that he's done. Where we kind of look like we might be nonsense, but it's still amazing graphic.
Why? We don't look like we're nonsense. Why do we look like we're nonsense?
My hairdo on it definitely does look like I'm on a register.
I still can't get used to this new camera. It makes look at that, like how massive my hand looks again. That's weird, isn't it? Ooh.
Not really. Anyway, we'll gloss over that. Benny Mac says, "Evening all, hello sir, how are you?" And the first lady and the person who almost disrupted the start of this show, Sharon in the chat says it's Monday night. You know what that means. Dan Griffin, one of our opponents in the graphic, says, "Evening everyone. It feels like it's been forever." Yeah, it does, because some of us fought with Scarf.
God's sake.
Some of us, I'm using the royal some of us, obviously. There was one of us who was here on time, and the other one just he don't give a shit about you, folks. That's what it is. It's like, yeah, can't be arsed with him today. Morty in the chat, yo, you beautiful wrong'uns. And amazingly, Ori the draw in the chat as well. It says it means Sam messed up the graphic because he doesn't look like DIY. No, well, he's not just him as DIY, it's both of us.
And we didn't mess up the graphic. That's made by Pigsbladders. He purposely puts us into the graphic.
Yes, exactly. It's done like that. It's AI.
Is it AI?
No, I don't know. I think he does it himself. But
Yeah,
however he does it, it's amazing. He's never let us down. It's absolutely superb graphics. Benny says, "What's up to Dan?" Morty says, "Please give your thoughts on the latest Bloodline segment." And I predict that Sa hasn't seen it.
No. I saw the Bloodline come. The Bloodline. Sorry, I was thinking of the Wyatts because there's a comment about the Wyatts. The Bloodline segment where Sokoa and so on powerbomb Heyman.
Yeah,
that's cool as fuck.
That has refreshed the whole Bloodline story for me. I wasn't particularly sold on Solo being the tribal chief. I don't think he had the charisma. He was too quiet. But that whole segment changed my mind. It was really well done, and props to Paul Heyman. Didn't shave. It's just like those little touches. Didn't shave because he was worrying about what was happening all week. His eyes were bloodshot, like he'd not slept. Brilliantly done, and what a face turn as well. What a face turn.
I mean, it's all
Yeah.
heading to war games, I'd imagine, isn't it, in November? Surely.
It's got to, and it's got to
Yeah.
head to Solo versus Roman as a 1-on-1. That'll be absolutely superb. Ori thinks it was absolutely brilliant, and she would be correct in that. Hello, Charlie. How are you? Hope you're doing really well. King Pig Bladder's rocked up again, saying, "Hey guys, hey CWF." Yeah, we were just constructively criticizing your graphics. Well, some of us in the chat were. We think it's absolutely brilliant. So
We were singing praises, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Morty says, "Yo, Charlie, looking forward to putting your dad in check on the Doctor Who pod." Oh, upcoming episode, maybe.
Yeah, well, she's a guest on this season of it. So, but I think she's the last guest on, so we're a few weeks away. Yeah, but yeah.
And then Morty says, "Loved recording with you and Sar Mags. Well, maybe that'll be happening again pretty soon." Ray, hello, sir. How are you? He's in the chat. He says, "Evening." And then Ray asks us for thoughts on the Wyatt Six chaps loving the corny horror theme. I mean, I'd like to hold off on that for a few minutes because it might be brought up in the next segment. Let's say.
Oh dear. Okay.
Morty says, "Is the Hall of Lame K9?"
Oh my word! The episode of the Doctor Who pod that came out today, Maxie, Dan and I covered K9 and Company, which was a one-episode pilot that didn't actually make it to being made into a series, where Sarah Jane Smith, one of the Doctor's companions, had K9 and was going to be a vehicle basically for her own show. It was not very good. Let's put it that way.
It's probably bad when the best actor on the show is the robot dog.
I know some Doctor Who fans hate me saying this on the show, but I'll say it here on this show as well. I fucking hate K9. I don't get it at all. I just don't get it.
Well, I am not opening that kind of worm, so we'll move swiftly on. Ori says, "Us two being professional, that is very, very rude. We have ties and everything sometimes."
But to be fair, she's accurate. And would you want us any other way?
Exactly. If we were professional, we'd be making millions of dollars of podcast advertising, but the show would be watered down. So I think we've got the right balance. Who wants millions of dollars? Benny says, "How is everyone?" And he says, "How have you not mentioned your concert yet, sir?" Yeah,
I'm
how have you not?
about this. Very excited about this. I am. I've got 1 day left of work this week. I work tomorrow because Wednesday morning, me and my brother-in-law are off to see AC/DC at Wembley Stadium. It's going to be. I thought I'd never get to see him again, Magsy, because they're all so fucking old. But yeah, they're playing Wembley Stadium again Wednesday night, so I cannot wait. Honestly, cannot wait.
And they're only the backup artist as well, aren't they? Because the main event is Taylor Swift. Wow. Not a Swiftie then, are we not?
No. See, she uses backing tracks and stuff when she's live AC/DC play.
And you can tell the difference.
Of course you can.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Morty says, "My Gargano definitely looks nonsense." Exactly. And it's not Matt and me, it's the Gargano bit. Just let's put that out
Is
there.
that right? Yeah. Is that the issue, is it?
Ori says, "Oh, is that what it was?" Yeah, exactly. Ori, it is that. And we'll have no more about it. Dan says, "Sar saying how big his hand is in the camera. 10 quid says he gets his knob out and looks at it after stream." Dan, he did it pre-stream. He did it in the green room beforehand. And
Smart money is on during the stream.
I thought he'd zoomed out.
Well, it's cold up here, Max.
Connor, hello, sir. How are you? He says, "Hello, gents. Tuning in before I go to the shithole that we call Publix. I have no idea what Publix is. And hammering my managers to take a look at my availability." Hammering your manager. Interesting. To take a look at his availability change so he can have his weekends back and reset mentally. Just hand you noticing. If it's a shithole and your manager's hammering you, Tad's had you noticing, I think.
I read that as pubics.
It sounds
But, I mean,
even worse.
but Sharon, has been on me for a good couple of years saying I need glasses, and the more and more, and especially in the last couple of months, I've started to think, do you know what? I think she might be right.
Yeah, I think you look spiffing with a pair of glasses, like really
Yeah.
thick, like Coke bottle.
Totally round, big black rims, half like
No,
goggles.
not even totally round. Those like kind of NHS ones where they used to come right across. That's like a letter B on your nose.
So it'd be like one lens all across like that.
That'd be
Just
amazing.
one piece of glass,
Like,
like a visor on a bike or
like
something.
Star Trek: The Next Generation, like
Yeah,
that kind. That'd be well
that's
done.
when I get my eyes tested. I'm gonna see if I can get some of them.
You should definitely. King Peg Banner says it's a trade secret, lads. Wish you could tell us.
Oh,
I mean, you could tell, so I'd forget the next day.
yeah. He probably has told me. I can't remember.
Oh, this is brutal. Ori says, "Is it horrible that I thought AOP was actually AOP? I don't remember Ockham rocking up to matches wearing glasses. I think that for me is the giveaway." Benny says, "Or you could wait till in the corner for current WWE news." I mean, you are
Very
definitely
true.
going to cover it way better than I, but
Mm.
and I need it as a vehicle for the next segment. Let's just say that.
And also, in the corner, banging out the content, by the way. We've got weekly episodes, we've got bonus episodes, we've got 2 or 3 a week sometimes. So yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. And Tyler back on there as well and so on. Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff.
Those two guys are just content machines. King Pig's Ladder says he takes it as a compliment, Aura. Solo Ray says Solo looks like Taz in the suit. And the gloves as well, though. It looks proper weird, doesn't it? Dan says Paul Heyman legit stayed up 48 hours. He looked knackered because he was. I mean, what commitment to the bit.
That is brilliant.
I mean, what is he, 58 years old and taking a triple power bomb through a table? The guy is just is a legend. Ray says Heyman, top 5 performer in wrestling history for me. Probably top 3 on the mark as well, I reckon. Connor says USA play tonight in a win and advance game. No idea what that means. I may have to treat my managers with respect if I'm going to call off and sleep after the game tomorrow. And then Connor says, you leave K9 alone. He's the goat of the Doctor Who companions, and he's a robot dog.
He's really not, mate. He's really fucking not. I'll tell you what it is, Magsy, right? I get the same excitement from nostalgia whenever K9's on screen. Then he speaks, and me and Dan say the same thing every single time he's on the show. We go, ask K9. Ask K9. That's how it goes. It takes literally 3 seconds for that little burst of excitement to get ruined.
Brilliant. And then last one for now. Dan says, I had to step away for a bit because I haven't seen the graphic yet. Dan, you will be shocked and amazed. In fact, we've just got 2 come through like literally seconds. So Ori says, I'm also driving you, Numpty. Oh, yeah, because she has a job where she essentially works from a car, and it's a pretty awesome job.
Okay.
And then Morty says, oh, Connor. Yeah, because
Connor,
she had decisions. Yeah. So that's the chat caught up with for now.
There we go. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here via YouTube, via Twitch, via X, etc., etc. If you are joining us via X, you can also comment on the show, on the stream, and it will pop up for us here. Just click on the little stream, click again. It gives you a little option to comment, and away you go. So you can do that there. Maxie, I suppose we want to chuck some crap away into the Hall of Lane, don't we?
Well, actually, no, because I want to go first. Well, I have to go first because it's contractually obliged, but I've got a Hall of Fame this week.
Oh.
Still love that chicken noise. You're not going to ask me what I've got then? You are
No,
not
I just
playing
thought you
the
were going to
part
go.
today.
I just thought. Oh, sorry, mate. I need to wake myself up, then I can't. Okay,
You
let's
do.
go, Maxi. What do you got for us, mate?
This is going to take some real editing for you this week.
I ain't touching shit.
So every now and again in the world of wrestling, something comes along that blows everyone's expectations. Just something amazing. And this over this past couple of weeks since we've been off, we've had the introduction to the Wyatt Six. Now, obviously, everybody knows about the Wyatt family and the very sad, untimely death of the leader Bray Wyatt, and his brother Bo has kind of taken on the mantle of keeping the Wyatt philosophy in wrestling going. So this couple of weeks ago, we got the final introduction to the Wyatt family after weeks and weeks of spoilers and QR codes and things of that nature, and it looked phenomenal. It actually looked genuinely phenomenal. We saw Nikki Cross as Abby the Witch, which
Didn't that look fantastic, by the way?
it gave me the Ring vibes with the way she crawled on her hands and knees, and then
I thought you were going to say it gave you a hard on.
I mean that too, but it is what it is. Then we go backstage and we see the destruction that the Wyatt Six have caused. There's a dry ass smoke everywhere. All the electrics are failing. Bodies strewn all over the place. Then we see Rambling Rabbit, which is Eric Rowan. Then we see Mercy the Buzzard perched on top of a crate. That's played by Dexter Loomis. Huskus makes his return, and I think that's Joe Gacy, which could secretly be the best wrestler to fit that character because of the amazing work he's been doing in NXT, similar to the story of Huskus. And then we saw Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, and we got that final send off where Bo blows out the light in the lamp and says, "We're here." Absolutely amazing stuff. Really kind of it just lit a fire underneath the whole Bray Wyatt homage. I thought it was a really good start, and the amount of ways that this story can turn are just absolutely mind-blowing. According to Tom Collahue, he said that there's tentative plans for around 3 years worth of story from this, so it's definitely a long-term project that WWE are really throwing a lot into. So yeah, it's just things like that in wrestling just get me excited because it's something long-term to get invested in. But something else happened, and for me it blew even the Wyatt Six out of the water. A star has been born in wrestling, and we've covered this star before on Hall of Fame. But the amount of traffic that this wrestler is generating is unbelievable. He broke the record for the amount of media views that WWE got on X by a lot. He got 17.4 million views on his entrance video.
Unbelievable.
Joe Hendry is a phenomenon, a genuine phenomenon. In the same week that the Wyatt Six came out and got 2.8 million views on X, Joe Hendry got 17.4. So that's why this week my entry again is the phenomenon of Joe Hendry. And it also gives me an excuse to kind of embarrass the wife again by playing this. So, CWF, after losing a bet, here is Mrs. Maggs and a rendition. You ready? 3, 2, 1. So yeah, this week's entrance for me,
Ah,
Joe Hendry. I hope the guy gets brought in by WWE because he deserves
yeah.
it for the amount of work he's done.
I mean, he's a big fella as well. He's like 6'4", 6'5", isn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely in that kind of Triple H mold.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's the way that he's kind of followed the Zack Ryder route of really promoting himself and pushing himself to the point where he can't be ignored. You can't ignore how hard this guy's working, even if you're not into the character or into the wrestler himself. He's putting in so much effort to get his name out there. You've got to love that. So yeah, he's a 2-time entrant into the Hall of Fame now.
Why? I don't think we've had any others that are 2-time yet, are we? Have we?
I don't think so. Maybe one Hall of Fame and one Hall of Lame.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Hendry, what a guy.
Top class, mate. Top class. Top class indeed. Magsy, I'm afraid mine is not a positive. Mine is a Hall of Lame.
The Hall of
Lame indeed. Magsy, I'm going to a wrestling company that we have spoken about very briefly on the show in the past, but never really dived into anything of substance from it. We just sort of given it passing comments here and there because of some of the wrestlers who have gone through its doors, been trained there, and so on. I want to head to OVW.
Okay.
And I would like to head back to I suppose it'd be the November we begin. The November of 2011, I think, if I got my dates correct. And this concerns the ladies' title in OVW. The champion at the time was, the champion at the time is irrelevant because the winner of the match the new champion going into what I want to talk about was a lady named Taryn Terrell. Now, she won a match for the women's championship in the middle of a big push, and she won it underhandedly with some dodgy refereeing by another lady on the roster entitled Tyler Hendricks, who I'm sure people are familiar with. She went on to do various different things under different names and so on. This then led into a storyline between the two because Terrell was champion. Hendricks believed she deserved a title shot because she helped Terrell win the title with her dodgy guest refereeing spots. So the following week on OVW television, Hendricks is asking for a title match. Terrell says no, which is kind of the way you'd predict it would go. It's the heelish way and all this sort of stuff, isn't it? They ask a few more times. Hendricks and her boyfriend at the time ask a few more times before finally asking one last time whilst her boyfriend has her dog with her. Now, my mindset straight away is, oh dear, dog on TV. This never ends well. Look at what happened to Al Snow's dog and all this sort of stuff. But don't worry, the dog's fine. The dog, well, as far as I know, I mean, this is 12 odd years ago now. It might not be anymore, but back then the dog was fine. Okay. When the title shot by the champion, Terrell, was refused once again, she walks away, cocky, brash, and so on. And Tyler Hendricks turns to her boyfriend, hands him a bucket, and says just to follow her around, meaning the dog, which he does off camera. Later on that night, Taryn Terrell defends her title successfully against who is the lady who hangs around with the AOP and Scarlett, isn't it? Scarlett, yeah, defends the title against her and is distracted by the boyfriend of Hendricks, allowing Hendricks herself to sneak up behind with the bucket, which has been following the dog around, and the contents get tipped upon the champion's head.
Because of course.
The contents, of course, were poo. Dog crap. That in itself is bad enough, Magsy, I believe. That warrants an entrance into the Hall of Lame in its own. Any use of, well, shit in a wrestling show to me is like, okay, that's Hall of Fame worthy on its Todd. But oh no, we don't stop there, my friend. Oh dear me, no. This leads to a title match being made for the December 1st edition of OVW television. The name of the show escapes me. I apologise. It was a Saturday Night Live kind of effort. So it's out on YouTube anyway, this particular match. And the stipulation added to this title match, I'm going to read this now just to make sure I get it 100% correct. It's a poop in the pool match.
Oh,
So
no.
similar to I suppose the match that Orange Cassidy and Jericho had with the, what was it, orange, what drink was that they had on the side, the big
Mimosa.
That's the one, thank you. That's what it conjured up in my mind, and I'm thinking, oh dear God, this is going to be terrible. And the stipulation is the loser the loser obviously isn't champion, and also gets thrown into this pool of poop. But being OVW, Mags, as bad as that stipulation sounds on its own, being OVW, they haven't got much money, have they?
They haven't.
It's a little bit, sort of hick wrestling, isn't it? A little bit backyard, a little bit get away with what you can. They haven't got a big vat or anything like that. They haven't got a good, expensive set to use. So when we join the commentary team and the promotion airing this title match on the Saturday, we have literally a small child's paddling pool.
I knew.
Inflated by the commentary desk with brown fluid and numerous, for want of a better phrase, logs in there. It looks shit, obviously, for obvious reasons, but it also looks so small time and embarrassing and pathetic. Naturally, the champion ends up in the poo because she is the heel, caked in shit, etc., etc. But yeah, that's kind of it, Magsy. It's only a few minutes long. People can go check it out if you so wish on the on YouTube. Just type in Tyler Hendricks, Taryn Terrell, poop in pool match, or even just poop in pool match. OVW will probably do, and it'll come up. You ain't got to watch much of it because the match itself is awful. Some of the weakest chops I've ever seen. I don't think there's actually a wrestling move for the first 3 or 4 minutes because they're just chasing each other around. It's back to that era of professional wrestling with women, and then one of them ends up in a child's paddling pool with some shite. That is my entrance into this week's Hall of Fame, my friend.
I mean, I understand being creative in wrestling and trying to do things that have never been done before. But what's the payoff from a poo in the pool match? What is there to be gained apart from maybe getting dysentery? Oh, that's horrific.
Not a good look. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. But there you go. Those are your entrants into the Chain Wrestling Live Hall of Fame and Hall of Lame this week. Magsy, should we dive through the chat quickly before we get on to our non-wrestling topic?
We shall. Let me just catch up. So Sharon taking the mick out of how people say ruined.
Ruined. There's an I in the word. It's ruined. Ruined.
Yeah, it is. And Morty saying he loves how sassy I am. I mean, it's just me. I can't be anybody else. And if I don't sass, it builds up and then it just bursts out all at once. So I have to be sassy during the day today, so I don't explode with mega sass. Dan says he believes in Joe Hendry and he can't wait to see him wrestle Elijah. Used to, what was he called in WWE? I can't fucking remember his name. Elias. Yeah, that's at North Wrestling in a couple of weeks.
His brother went into the Hall of Fame last week, didn't
he? Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, that's it, yeah.
Ori believes as well. Graham from Good Cop Bad Cop says, evening gents, a little late, so heading back to the start and we'll catch up at times too. What a legend, absolute legend.
Commitment to the cause, mate.
Ray says the Joe Hendry phenomenon is unreal, but he's not quite a believer yet. Well, I mean, like I said, you don't have to get his his character or his shtick, but you got to appreciate the grind. It's just absolutely amazing. Ray then says Zack Ryder is an awesome comparison. Also, maybe Miz on the real world. Yeah, I think with Miz, perhaps it's not as good because that was pre-wrestling, and then he came in and he did the hard work in WWE. But I think Zack, the way that Zack made himself undeniable, I suppose, using the Long Island RC and the Internet Championship and stuff like that. That kind of led the way for a lot of wrestlers to get themselves over, and Joe Hendry is the kind of next iteration of that. Ben in the chat, hello Ben, how are you, sir? He says nothing like entering the stream with talks of buckets of dog crap. Wait till we cover the poo match with The Rock and was it Bulldog, who had a dog poo match. I think it was them two, weren't it?
It's just the Hell in a Cell.
No, this was on a UK pay-per-view, and it was The Rock versus Bulldog, and I'm sure it was Mankind collected all the poo from Matilda, and it ended up being on a platter, and The Rock bottomed Bulldog into the poop.
I've never heard of this before.
Well, maybe it should come up as a
real thing, is it? This can't be a real thing.
That genuinely happened.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we've got to bring that up, haven't we? We've got to
That's your homework. That's your homework. And he then says, "Evening, everyone." Well, evening to you, Ben, sir. We've got a question here from I Regret Jumping on Twitch. He says, "I have a question.
Okay.
I used to work at a deli, and Adam Copeland came in and ordered a sandwich. I handed it to him, and he grabbed my hand and said, 'I saw it in a dream. I know how you will die,' and placed the small plastic raven in my hand. He then stood up and walked out. Is this a wrestling thing?" I don't know. I don't think so. It seems very worrying, but I Regret Jumping then says, "Come to think of it, he didn't pay." Yeah, you've been conned out of a sandwich.
It's not a wrestling thing, it's a distraction thing. Copeland is a goddamn sandwich thief.
Exactly. King Pig Banner says the Joe Hendry interview with Chris Van Vliet was fascinating to watch. Yeah, I mean, he just gets it. He just gets self-promotion. It's really, really good. Ben says he remembers the Rock and Bulldog poo match. So there you go.
I don't remember it at all.
You may now need to change your pick for next week to try and wangle it into being the Rock versus Bulldog in a dog poo match.
How can I link to that? I'm gonna be distracted now, man, because he's going to be thinking about it. But there you go.
Well, maybe link it to next week.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. As always, interaction is what fuels this show. People talking to us in the chat and on Twitter fuels this show. So I suppose we better get to the biggest part of the show, Magsy, our non-wrestling topic.
Let's go for it.
NWT time. Oh! No wrestling talk here. It's the non-wrestling topic.
Lovely.
Nice. Lovely. Nice.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely.
So then. Our non-wrestling topic this week is the reverse of our non-wrestling topic last time we were with you 2 weeks ago. Last time we said about how do we word it, Maxie? Biggest sporting disasters or embarrassments or disappointments, wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. And this
and
week is the flip side.
Your biggest sporting success stories, whether it's yourself, the team you support, your country, any sport, anything goes, etc., etc., etc. And my word, there was a lot of sporting heroics going on in the CWF, Mags, wasn't there?
There was, and there was also some that had no attachment to sport whatsoever.
Yes, which I enjoyed. We did have some come in quite late on as well from Ray. I have got those, Ray. Thank you very much for sending those in. But I will go through them in the order they arrived into us, Mags, as is the chain wrestling way, kind of, sort of, in our own style.
We'll see.
We begin with 5 Nerds Go, at 5 Nerds Go on Twitter.
Straight away, wrong.
Well, this was the first one that came in. I just screenshot them in the order they arrived to us.
The first one for me is Benny Mac, but he'll have to just wait now.
Okay. Five Nerds Go say, I took part in a multi-school tennis tournament. First couple of rounds were all right. Got to the quarterfinals. Was pre-warned I was playing against someone who played at national junior level. Okay. Smashed the prick. 6-2, 6-1, 6-1. Probably should have pursued tennis, but donuts.
I mean, is it like a career, earning lots of money, playing a sport, hitting a ball over a net, or delicious donuts? I think he made the right choice. Matt made definitely the right choice there.
Yeah, I think so. I've never really played tennis, mate, apart from once when I was like 13 on holiday with my family, and my mum bought some wooden tennis rackets and so on because there was a court there where we were on holiday, and it was during Wimbledon, so of course, everyone's got the tennis bug, haven't they? We went out to the tennis court, and I thought I was going to be Pete Sampras or whoever, threw the ball up in the air, gave it my hardest whack to try and hit an ace or smash an amazing fast-paced serve, broke the racket in half, picked up the next racket, threw it up in the air, broke that one in half. Nobody could play tennis for the rest of the holiday.
You absolute child. I can't do it, so nobody else is.
No, I didn't intentionally break them. It was just me trying to be all clever and serve hard, wasn't it?
So you threw the other tennis racket in the air to definitely not break it then?
No, I didn't say that, did I? I threw the ball in the air and hit it with the racket. And my mum had the only other racket on the other side of the net, didn't even get to hit the ball once before we only had one racket left. And you can't play with one racket between two of you, can you?
What should have happened then is your mum shouldn't have been so mean and bought some proper tennis rackets.
Yeah, okay, it's her fault. You know it. MGB Graham at MGB Graham on Twitter. He says, over 10 years ago, at a minor league baseball game with at MGB Wrestling Pod, a foul ball smoked into the crowd along the third baseline. I don't know what any of that means.
Okay. Foul ball is like where the ball doesn't get hit back into the pitch. It goes off to like one of the sides, I think.
Okay. Right. This one smoked into the crowd, Magsy, it says. So I guess that means it went quite fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I snagged it and gave it to him. His eyes were huge in disbelief, and I was on par with Superman for the rest of that game. Fair play.
Oh,
nice.
That is cool. I mean, it's sad that 10 years ago he's still living on that being his biggest sporting achievement, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. I don't know if he's still with us. He had to go off to work, or was he not going to work because he wanted to watch
catching
football?
up. He'll catch up with this.
No. Our next entrant to our non-wrestling topic, Connor, Connor Knows Footy. Was he going to work? Or was he?
Yeah, he was going to hammer his manager at Publix.
Yes, at Publix. Connor, if you're already at Publix hammering other people, you have to listen to this on the audio version later in the week. Connor says, December 9th, 2023, Columbus win their third MLS Cup. A moment shared on the volley with MGB Graham and the Matt Attack UK. A moment that will live forever in my memory. Okay.
Until you get Alzheimer's.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why is that? Moving on.
No, it's a great achievement winning a football trophy in America, isn't it? Where that actual football is frowned upon.
I mean, it's picking up over there, isn't it? They've got the World Cup, aren't they, next time?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Do you remember last time they had the World Cup? And we had Diana Ross. When Diana Ross but Diana Ross took a penalty and missed and still brought the crossbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that World Cup though. That's one of the first World Cup I actually watched like as much as I could have at the time.
Was it the Baggio penalty miss as well?
Yeah, but Italy weren't very good, and Baggio basically scored the goals to get him there, and then missed the penalty. And again, yeah, at this point, Baggio became my hero. I still, but yeah, there you go. Ja at Yalmore Right on Twitter. He says, won a snooker tournament in the Cannock Chase Leagues when I was about 14. Also, I won an
Nope.
ice cream once in a table tennis competition.
You should have led with that one because that is
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, an ice cream.
I once won an
that's all
ice
about.
cream.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It was a table tennis competition in a hotel bar on a holiday in Spain. Never been much of a sportsman. No, don't you downplay yourself, lad. You won a bloody ice cream in Spain. Don't be so modest. My word. Um, always knew in my head what I meant to do, but my feet or arms didn't listen, he says. Okay.
Yeah, them twatty limbs just won't
Mm.
do what you want them to do.
Sounds like me when I try and dance.
Or walk, or run.
Yeah, I'll do anything really. Yeah.
Tap.
Mate, honestly, I've been at this new job a week. Look at the scratches all over my arm from where I've got it caught in the saw, caught it on bits of metal, and all. I'm covered, mate. Absolutely caked in it.
I mean,
It's not a good look.
It's not. We've got an update. Graham is just about to catch up to live. Says UK translation for Sa. He hit the ball along the left side that went straight into the crowd without bouncing. He caught it and handed it to his son.
Didn't bounce, and it got it. That's class.
So he just picked it out of the air, like Superman would.
The only way that could have been any cooler was if he was looking in the other direction, smoking a cigarette, and just plucked it out of the air.
Yeah,
that'd have been awesome.
Exactly. I bet he did.
You got something to aim for next time. There's a way of improving on what you've done. Chris Bellis at Real Chris Bellis on Twitter. He says, if anybody has 1PW's Devil's Due 2006 on DVD, I'm filmed for a special feature doing a massive chav dance with Darren Burridge. It's my only and therefore greatest sporting achievement. Now, this is a wrestling show, isn't it, 1PW?
Yeah, is 1PW not the company that we covered a little while ago with the guy who's the promoter who's a con man?
Okay. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure Dan in the chat will let us know, but I think he was called Steven something. But I mean, if that's his greatest and only achievement, surely it's also his worst achievement as well in sport.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, because that's you can have an achievement and a disappointment. Because a disappointment is you haven't achieved a disappointment, have you? It's just happened. You don't achieve something bad.
Yeah, but in the same breath, if it's the only thing in that category, it's similar, the worst and the best at the same time.
I suppose. I hope somebody has the DVD so we can see this chav dance that Chris Bellis is doing.
Chris, if you have the DVD or if you know where it is, send us over a copy and we'll share it with the world.
Yeah, that's cool. It's got to be seen. It's got to be seen. At Good Bad Wrestle, the awesome Good Cop Bad Cop Wrestling podcast, they say, and I know you're going to fucking moan about this one, so just let me finish reading it out before you jump on it and shit on it, okay? They say, first hole in one at disc golf. Backhand with an understable disc. Is that the correct word? Understable?
Don't know. It's a frisbee.
He's in the chat. Explain to us. Yeah, let us know. Understable disc. Curved through the Guardian trees. Guardian trees sound like a really good punk band or something, don't they?
They sound like
we are the Guardian trees.
They sound like they're from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah. It caught the chains and stuck. I have had one other ace, same hole, same disc. Not my natural shot either. Hashtag don't say frisbee.
Next one, because I was always told if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Now, all my life, I've ignored that. But for this one comment, I'll stick to that mantra.
I would love a go at disc golf.
Get fucked.
No, I would.
I-
I would. I'll tell you
Go
what.
to
I
your
think it would be
local pound
absolutely
shop,
brilliant.
because I'm sure there's plenty of them in Gloucester,
There's fucking loads, yeah.
and just pick up a frisbee and just start whirling about, and that's as much
they're not-
skill that you need.
No, bollocks, mate. I've seen some of this disc golf. It's fucking amazing. When they
I've
throw it
seen
like that.
some disc golf. Wow, your laugh is so exciting.
When they sort of bend it round the trees and stuff to get in the cage thingy. That's
It's
pretty
amazing.
clever.
Cool.
You know. I would like a go at disc golf though. I reckon it could be a good crack. The weather's nice.
Go on, fill
know.
your boots, impress your friends.
Bag of cans out with you.
I don't know if that's allowed. Is that not classed as doping?
I don't know.
They
I
made
don't know.
the
We should play.
rules about that.
We should do it, Magsy. Honestly, we should do it.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than play disc golf.
Fuck's sake. Okay. Benny Mac at Benny Mac on Twitter, and that's BENNY. He says, and I did question this when he first said it, pulling a barmaid. And I said, sport? Is that a sport? And he states, I stand by my previous statement.
I mean, he also follows it up with a second one, which I think is more linked to sport than the first one.
Okay. I've not got that, I don't think. Or I might have it later on. Once had 9 points and what was that, 5 shots?
5 shots
During
during
an
an
England
England. So
My word.
a pan every 10 minutes. That's an
You
achievement.
got half time as well.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it makes it less of achievement. Maybe he had the 5 shots at halftime as like a Lavner.
Like a shot every 3 minutes at half time.
Pretty much. And then again,
practice in England.
if they went to extra time and penalties, it's
Penalties,
not
yeah.
actually that big of an achievement, Benny, to be fair. You loser.
Anyway, Matt Butler at Trey Butler on Twitter, he says, the final of the Inter-School Football Cup 1998-99 played for Burnage RUFC against Oral. I thought Oral was a food. What am I thinking of there? Offal, I'm thinking of. That's different, isn't it? That's not the same thing. Okay.
So you
Oral.
went with Offal over Storrel. Storrel, which is just one letter.
What's Storrel? No, it's not. Storrel isn't one letter. Storrel's ST. That's 2 letters. Not bad.
No, sorrel.
Oh, sorrel. Okay. Well, what's that?
That's like a herb. But you went with offal, like animal innards.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
It's the Gloucester in you. Never mind.
It's the ELL at the end made me think of it. Look.
Even though offal
anyway.
has ALL.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Offal sounds horrible as well, doesn't it? It's not even something I'd eat.
Yeah, it's grim.
Nasty. Anyway, Matt Butler says, played for Burnage RUFC against Oral in a Wigan Oral mixed rules match at Main Road. Okay. Won Leeds Premier Pool League, the Consolation and Continuation Cups, Epaulets rule. I don't know what that is.
I don't know that. But he won it.
27.
It looks like he won it twice as well, 2017 and 2020.
Yeah, Leeds Pool League finalist, Captain's Cup 2021 as well. I think Matt Butler's good at pool.
I also think he might be showing off a little bit here because he continues.
He does, actually. Yeah, I just noticed. He does. West Yorkshire Interleague Pool League International Rules Division 3 champions.
So now he's travelling counties. He's not just sticking to like Lancashire or Greater Manchester. He's moving now into Yorkshire and beating them at their own game.
He's dominating the whole of the north of England, mate.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pudsey Summer Pool League, 3rd place. I mean, even teddy bears aren't safe if he's beating Pudsey. My word.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. Was that live on Children in Need?
Yeah, maybe. Well, to be fair, Pudsey's only got one eye.
So he can't judge distance.
No. His perspective's all out, isn't it?
Yeah, so
he's got them big furry fucking mitts as well. You can't hold a cue. I'm scratching that one from the list. We're going to ignore that one.
Yeah, and it was third place as well, so he got beat.
Oh yeah, well, in that case, we will talk about, because maybe Pudsey finished second.
What a shit house.
Leeds Snooker League 2024 Division E champions. Oh, fair play. I've never been able to play snooker. They say, don't they, a pool player can't play snooker, but a snooker player can play pool.
Well, it looks like Matt has mastered both disciplines. He's
Yeah.
the Mark Henry of pool.
Mark Henry?
Yeah, because he mastered both like weightlifting and powerlifting, which apparently it's this. Even though they look pretty similar, by lifting weights, the way you have to prepare for them are two very different disciplines, and he was good at both.
I just think it all looks the same to me, mate.
Lifting everything's, yeah, and he was very good at it.
Yeah, fair play. Leeds Snooker League MVP Horseforth Cons B 60% win-loss record 2024.
I mean,
I think that may have been two things I've read out as one then.
Well, no, it says 60% win-loss record. That means he lost 2 games in every 5. That's not that good, is it? It's only just over half. It's incredibly better than what I could do.
I wonder what Pudsey's win-loss record is.
He's never lost, and that's why Matt was in 3rd place.
Perhaps he lost that eye in an instant in a pool hall. Them cues get swung around and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, or because he's got no depth, he might have just like pull ball off the cushion, smack clean in the air.
Well, no, because he wouldn't have lost the eye to. No, that doesn't work, does it?
Maybe he beat Matt, and Matt was that angry he stabbed him with a pull cue. Yeah, glassed him. He went way overboard.
He glassed Pudsey Bear.
he just chinned Pudsey Bear.
Yeah. Oh damn it, Matt! What are you gonna be like that for?
I know. It's only pool. Only a game.
The bear blinding bastard continues. I took up playing cue sports to help me with my dyspraxia. Oh, brilliant! So we've been taking the piss and now read that.
Yeah, you're horrible, you sir. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's me. It's me.
Maybe an idea should be read them first.
It's tough playing cue sports, harder with a coordination problem, but concentration, practice, and adapting your play closes some gaps. I'm never going to be a world beater, but I know how to put some stick about.
And he says all that as if he's like really putting his own skills down. I don't have dyspraxia. I have no problems with coordination, and I am shit at pool. So just big up yourself, man. I mean, you have bigged up yourself for 3/4 of those replies, but yeah, you might as well have kept it up for the last quarter. That's amazing skills. Wish I could play pool like that.
Even if we have outed you as a charity mascot assaulter of some description.
No wonder Mr. Blobby was off TV for so long. He dared take up Matt playing pool.
No. He beat Matt at cricket, so he beat the fuck out of him. Just Blobby's blood all over the wickets and
Blobby.
Sooty and Sweet beat him at basketball, then I hung by their necks from the hoop.
He's a sick bastard, is Matt Butler.
He is. Puppet killer, mate. Puppet killer. Steve at Elite FPL _Stevo, he says, that's tickled me now. Winning the who can throw a have you not?
No, I don't think so. But anyway, go on.
Winning the who can throw a tennis ball the furthest contest for Sports Day.
Wow. We're getting the gamut of sporting achievements here.
See, it's all right us laughing because we're never going to win this sort of thing anyway. So,
hey, speak for yourself.
You can throw a tennis ball really far, can you?
I have known to throw tennis balls far before. I don't know if I would beat Steve-O because that guy is hench, isn't he?
But in what context are you throwing a tennis ball really far?
Like,
Are you in a competition, or are you just randomly throwing
Just
it
in
down? Is that what
temper.
people do in Burnley?
oh, I was waiting to play you at tennis, and then I realised you'd smash your racket, so I just lobbed the tennis ball.
Yeah, in a fit of rage. Steve-O says, being called up to the school cricket team, played our one and only match. We did win, but cricket wasn't popular enough, so they decided that was it. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Oh,
Because
that
cricket
absolutely
is,
sucks.
no,
Hey,
cricket
whoa!
sucks.
No! Don't you call cricket to us Northerners? I mean, cricket is life.
Is that right? Okay. Steve-O continues, competing in the 4x4 200 meters relay and winning at Exeter's athletic ground. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, fair play. Not sporting per se, Steve-O says, but on 2 occasions being kindly asked to host, commentate on the FPL Juice football tournaments. I look forward to doing it again. Wink, wink. Okay, fair enough. That's pretty cool.
I genuinely thought you were going to say being kindly asked to leave the premises, because there's some mums very, very worried.
Steve also says, in year 6, yes, Mags, when I was 11, he says in brackets, scoring from the halfway line on the playground football pitch. Not even from the halfway line, is it?
I mean, Beckham, he Beckhammed it. What a talent. Multi-talented in multiple sports, Steve-O.
Scoring from the halfway line and throwing a tennis ball really fucking far.
That's just legit power and accuracy.
It is. It may not sound a lot, Steve-O says, but being able to bench press 100k, squat 120k, and press above head 85k, I was overjoyed with. See, now, he says it may not sound a lot, but that's a hell of a lot more than I could do.
It sounds very much a lot.
It does. It does. I mean, 100k is a kilo, isn't it? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So that's like 100 bags of sugar, isn't it?
Pretty much. Well, 50 on one side and 50 on the other side of a bar.
Which is 100 mags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was just saying it's balanced weight.
Right. Now let's make it any less difficult, is it? I mean, you're not picking. No, you're not just picking.
Well, pick them up with one hand then. Let's see how well you do.
No, I couldn't do that. No.
Exactly.
How have we ended up arguing about this? You were agreeing with me. How have we ended up at this stage?
It's just the thought of someone being able to pick up 100 bags of sugar. It's worrying.
Like on a pallet, just on their back or something. Carried it.
I mean, he worked for Tesco for a long while. He may have had to do that during.
Steve-O has done that actually. I bet he has carried some crazy shit around at Tesco's when they're like, when like the fork truck or something's been broken. I bet he's carried some mad shit around.
He is the fork truck. Gets his arms on the pallet and lifts it up.
I hope when that happens, he makes the noise.
Beep, 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 beep.
And when he turns around, he's beep, beep, beep. Let us know, Steve-O. Steve-O also says, in primary school, again, Mags, between ages of 9 and 11, always winning the 100-meter sprint on sports day. Although looking back, it was probably only 50. Fair enough.
I mean, have you kept that pace up though, Steve, or can you still do a 100-meter sprint, or do you gas out? I mean, I don't think I could do 10-meter sprint.
Mate, honestly,
I don't think I could do sprint. I could do mildly jog.
I look back on the stuff I used to be able to do when I was younger, even as recent as my early 20s, and I think, how did this fat wobbly blob in front of you, this blancmange in a t-shirt, how could I do that? You know, I could sprint. I was lightning quick. I could run, like, you know, the stamina races where it's lap after lap after lap. I look back now and I think, man, I get up too quick out of a chair. I go dizzy, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't look at it as like, how did I do that? More, how much have I let myself go?
Oh yeah, that is the better way of looking at it. Yeah, that is the better way of looking at it. Yeah. Dan Griffin at Dan Griffin at 21 on Twitter. He says, I have so few that the only one that stands out to me was scoring a half volley from the halfway line in a school PE football match. We've got more Beckhams and Neymars dotted around here.
Oh, why are these guys not playing Premier League football? That's absolutely amazing.
If wrestling adjacent stuff counts, Dan
It
says,
does.
I once carried ex NXT UK wrestler Amir Jordan to the ring whilst doing a bad Bray Wyatt cosplay. And we have a picture there as well. We'll retweet it again, obviously, on the Chain Wrestling Twitter account. But for those of you who are watching live, you can see right there Dan Griffin carrying the wrestler to the ring, which I think that's fantastic, isn't it?
That's quality. See, Chris Bellis. Dan didn't only just say he did something in wrestling; he provided the evidence. So you need to up your game, Chris.
There you go. Glenn Abbott at GA WrestleNut on Twitter. He says, for those that consider it a sport, sharing a wrestling ring with the British Bulldogs in a charity tag match and totally ballsing it up. Ended with Davey Boy Smith kicking me in the mouth and knocking a tooth out. What the?
What?
Did I ask for more information on this?
You did. You said, amazing. How did this come about? And he said, my father knew Zoltan Boksic and my mate and I were decent at judo and took the bet that we couldn't get ring ready in 3 months for this charity match. That's amazing. I mean,
That
knocking
is
your
so
tough
cool.
out. He knocked your tough out.
But he was in the ring with Dynamite Kid, mate. That's
Yeah, I know. It's brilliant. And Davey Boy Smith kicked him in the mouth, knocked his tough out.
Yeah. It's a work, Davey, god damn it.
Well, they were always like hard hitters, weren't they? The Bulldogs.
Reckless behaviour.
Yeah.
Worryingly, we now come to Bang Bang Steve at Von Tugbot on Twitter. I wonder what he's going to say. Surviving 6 months of pro wrestling training at Jason Cross School of Wrestling near Bridgewater with my mate Brad. Oh, okay. There's a lot less swearing and name calling than I anticipated.
That was way less abusive than I expected from Steve. And 6 months of pro wrestling training, I bet that's some hard graft. Taking all them bumps.
Yeah, indeed. MGB Graham, I can see there as well on just underneath Bang Bang Steve. His joke entry for today will work great on the audio version, he says, but he's superimposed himself doing a bicycle kick on a picture there, which looks it's quite camply doing a bicycle kick, isn't he?
Very effeminately.
Yes, indeed.
I did some research for this picture, and it looks like he's got this from when he's visited the National Soccer Hall of Fame. I mean, should there be one in America? It's a toss up in it. But the teams that are on the pitch, do you know who they are, sir?
No, don't think so. Let me have a look.
Well, one of them gets mentioned every week because
that's Columbus Crew in the yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, because Connor obviously can't shut the fuck up about him.
Right,
but who's the one in the green?
Okay, in the green, is that the ones who cut the log? Not going back to shit again, but cut the big tree log whenever they score a goal.
I have no idea. Is that a thing?
Okay. Yeah, there's a team in America that have a massive log, like a whole cut down tree behind one of the goals. And every time there's a goal scored, this guy with a chainsaw cuts a little disc off it.
And it's still a massive tree right now. No, it may be them. It may not be. I can't confirm or deny that. But I'll give you a clue. They're sponsored by Xbox. It's the Seattle Sounders.
Okay.
I think they call it Sounders. But anyway. So that's
okay,
me.
Convincing? Did it sound like I knew what I was on it?
That just shows I do sometimes pay attention to Graham's achievements and not his disc golf ones.
There you go, Graham in the chat made it, saying he
I
believes
didn't.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle
I didn't say
the
that.
tree thing.
I could not confirm or deny or give a shit.
No, I'm not having a pop at you. Why are you so defensive tonight? This isn't my aggressive tone. This is me excited because I've got something right.
You've got something right.
Yeah.
well done to you.
Thank you very much. Ben at Ranty Ben at Largely Speaking on Twitter. He says, reached the semi-final of a Conkers tournament, age 9. Got in the local paper and everything. Okay. Lost to an estate agent who boiled his nut.
Oh, that's cheating.
Mm.
What a cheater. And he says he looks forward to my. What do you mean? Why would you look forward to my opinion on that? Do you think I would bring up something uncouth and say something horrific? No, he cheated by boiling his nut in front of a 9-year-old.
Okay, let's move on quickly from this, shall we?
What a nonce.
Fucking brilliant. Wasn't also some? Was it vinegar as well that did something to conkers?
Yeah, you soak them in vinegar and then bake them in the oven till they go like brick hard. I've never known boiling his nuts though. Surely that'd hurt. And what would that have to do with playing conkers?
Morty at MortyJR5 on Twitter. He says,
Oh,
"Greatest sporting achievement? Are you taking the piss?"
good job I haven't got that from Morty.
Oh, okay. He does continue. Don't know if it's a sport, but I got to the semi-finals of an Essex Pantacue tournament at 14. What the fuck is that?
Definitely not a sport. I've not got the foggiest idea. If he's still in the chat, Morty, explain yourself. What is Pantacue and why is that an achievement?
It's spelt, for anyone who wants to look it up, Petanque. That's Petanque. Pentacue? You think that must be?
You said
Anyway.
Petacue. There's
Sorry?
no N there. Is it PEN?
No. Oh, Petanque. Petanque. Sorry.
That's not a thing. I think he's making that up.
Okay. He got to the semi-final at the age of 14, when the age limit entry was actually 16 plus. Lost by 2. Had
you know what it is? It's fucking bulls. It's bulls.
What, bowls?
No, do you know the French version where you get the kind of metal balls and instead of rolling them, you just throw them? Why are you looking over
Sorry,
there?
there's a noise behind me there. I don't know what that was. No, bowls like
no, bulls.
Right, I don't know what that is.
It's an American version, a French version of bowls, you know, like crown green bowls.
Yeah.
But they play with like metal, like shiny silver metal balls, and instead of rolling them, you throw them towards it like a stick, and it's like the closest who wins.
Oh, that could be quite interesting.
I mean, not an achievement though, is it? Throwing a ball. I mean, saying that it was for Steve-O, so we have to play fair. And it has to be.
Morty was 14, and he got to the final. He says here, semi-final, sorry, of a 16 plus tournament. Doing all right, I reckon.
That's cool. And it's Dan says it's pronounced Petanque.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Petanque, yeah. Okay.
I know words.
Yeah, it's not how it's spelled at all, but that's the French for you, isn't it? He said he had a strop at himself for losing and never played again, apart from a couple of times when I was older and no longer a top level twat, he says.
So never played again, but then played again. So lad.
Oh dear. Are you getting tired, Magsy? Is this the problem?
No. Just picking people up on their lies.
Okay. Ori at Ori the Draw on Twitter. She says, many years ago, for a job, had a list of different events for some celebratory occasions. I forget which. But included in that was a pie eating contest. A friend, co-worker, and I decided to compete, and prior to the competition, got a bit competitive. Context: I'm 5'3", he's closer to 6 foot. Neither of us were small in the weight department, but he was quite big and usually a sweetheart. But we were so into it, no one else at the table mattered. I proceeded to eat out everyone and went, oh dear.
Now, Ori said, out, eat everyone. SARS man went there. Just remember that.
Dear me. I proceeded to out-eat everyone and win. And there is photographic evidence post-win. And there is a picture as well, Magsy. You've got the picture?
There we
That
go.
is fantastic. Look at that.
She
Ori,
looks like
winner
a
of the
black and
funny
white.
element pie eating contest.
She looks like a black and white Ultimate Warrior there,
Yeah.
or an early Sting.
An early sting, yeah.
That's
Uh,
the achievement of the week. Everyone else bow down to win
just
a pie
smashing
eating
the
contest.
pies. Yeah. Fair enough. And finally, from Twitter, we have Ray. I can never get this right. Gao?
You can
I
never
don't know.
get 3 letters
Yeah, because it's got one of those wobbly things above the A. So what does that mean?
like an accent.
Yeah, but what accent? Irish? What? What accent?
Say it in an Irish accent.
I can't do an Irish accent. I don't even know why I said Irish.
We'll go with Ray Guy.
Ray Guy at Ray_Kerr
Brilliant.
on on
I'll nail this second time. We'll go with Ray at shit.
I'll
it's
go
worse.
with his Twitter handle. I can't get that wrong. Oh dear. Ray says from 12 to 14 years old, won back-to-back tennis under 15s tournaments at his local club. That's good going.
Brilliant.
12 years old and winning under 15s. Fair play.
You could have played him if he hadn't just been a child and smash a racket like a big baby.
Yeah, mate. I could have, couldn't I? Yeah, you're not going to let go of that, are you? Ray says, Ray Parlour versus Chelsea 2002. 17-year-old Ray, he means himself, not Ray Parlour, runs shirtless into the front drive when he scored that goal. I can't remember that goal.
Did Ray Parlour ever score a goal?
Yeah. He used to get the odd worldie, didn't he? And then not do anything for 6 months.
Yeah, I remember him playing for England and thinking, how is this man not in this squad?
Will Tord versus Manchester United to win the league in 2002. Yeah, I remember that very well.
Will Todd was class when he could be arsed.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it? He had a bit of an attitude problem, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like a Nelka in a way. Nelka had a bit of an attitude problem.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Arsenal players end up like that, don't they?
Yeah. Back-to-back promotions in the Goals Veterans League. Picture of one of our medal ceremonies below. You haven't got that, Mags, have you? No,
I haven't got him.
Nor have I.
Literally reading it.
Yeah, but it's screenshot, isn't it? So I'll get the picture up in a minute. But yeah, the Goals Veterans League, that's like 6 aside, I think, something like that, isn't it? So
yeah, kind of like Masters.
Back promotions. That's good going.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Not sporting per se, but scoring a penalty at the Emirates. That's sporting.
Yeah, it's what's not sporting about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely an achievement.
Yeah. Nadal, he loves his tennis as well, doesn't he, Ray? Nadal finally beats Federer at Wimbledon 2008. The match lasted a whole day with the multiple rain delays, and me and my missus watched the match in 3 different venues whilst out in London. Greatest tennis match I've ever seen. Yeah, I remember that. It was really good.
Yeah. The fact that Nadal, who was like a clay specialist, was able to beat Federer on his surface grass is it's unreal.
Yeah. Ray continues. Watching us, he means Arsenal, at Highbury beat Forest's 42-game unbeaten run by defeating Blackburn 3-0. Henry was just a beast during that time. Yes, he was. Yes, he was indeed. And
Arguably
finally,
the best player, best striker in the Premier League. Probably behind Shearer. Yeah.
There's an argument for that. You can debate that quite easily, couldn't you? Yeah, I would personally go with Shearer or maybe even Van Nistelrooy at a push if you're going for out and out goal scorer. But and finally, Ray says being at Highbury to watch Arsenal beat Villa 3-1 and go 49 and final game unbeaten, just before United turned you over. So there we go.
Who's being bitchy now?
Speaking of Van Nistelrooy, just before, anyway, that is fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody on Twitter, X, etc., for sending all of that stuff in. Again, we say it every week, but we truly mean it. This is your show. It would not work without you. So if you do want to be involved, if you have not already, follow us on X and Facebook at @chain_wrestling, and then you can be involved in a non-wrestling topic each week as we post it. Maxine, have you got any you want to comment on?
At school, we had tournaments that were called interform, where basically like the form classes of the school would all take part in tournaments, and my form won. I don't think we lost a tournament in all the 5 years that we were at that school.
Okay.
Not because of me, I was a bit part player, but we had a lot of really good sports like footballers and hockey players in our form group, so I ended up usually being the goalkeeper and didn't have much work to do. But yeah, we didn't lose a tournament. Then I discovered pretty much by chance that I was really good at cricket when we were doing cricket for PE, and the whole class ended up having to stay out past the end of the lesson because nobody could get me out, and I were hitting 4s and 6s all over the park.
Fantastic.
That led to me playing for the school team, and then the kind of it's hard to say county level because I definitely weren't playing for Lancashire, but the schools around the county. But yeah, there were my, I would say, biggest achievements. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, good stuff.
That's why I will not have any besmirchment against the glorious game of cricket. Because cricket's amazing.
Shit.
Oh, it's quality. Watching it is just good enough. A 5-day test is it's bliss.
No, I can't get on with that, mate. I can't get on with that. 5 days and ends up a draw.
And yet you'll go to see AC/DC backing up Taylor Swift.
Not back up to this. Oh, mate. Don't even start me off on this shit because I'll lose my rag. I really will. Do you know how big a band AC/DC are?
I genuinely hope. I've got fingers crossed that AC/DC cover a Taylor Swift song like singing "We Are Never Getting Back Together." That would be brilliant.
That would not happen either. They've got plenty of their own hits to run through. Thank you very much, Mr. Max. For me, sporting, it all comes down to football for me, really.
It does.
Professional teams and so on. The treble in '99 for United. What a glorious time that was to be a Manchester United fan. I know Man City have done the treble since, and other clubs have won 3 trophies in a season and called it a treble, but it's not quite the same. They did it with cheating with money, and they did. But everyone remembers the final when United were 1 down and scored twice late on. But the amount of times United came back from behind to win a game in that season, the FA Cup game. Yeah, it was just the amount of times was unbelievable, and you never knew what you were going to get either. We got beat by Sheffield Wednesday that season, who were dire. You just never knew what we were going to get.
The ref couldn't even help you with that game, could they?
No, exactly, mate. But no, some brilliant moments, brilliant memories. Personally, when I used to play football, I finished top goal scorer at a couple of places I played. That was quite an achievement for me, considering I didn't have any real ability. I could just run fairly fast, so that was always quite nice. But then when me and Sharon went into running a club, and we won the league a couple of times, won promotion. We ran, I think it was 9 seasons, maybe 10 seasons. Sharon will say it in the chat. I think it was 9 seasons we did, and we never finished lower than the previous season. Every year there was an improvement.
Wow!
Every year we went up through the leagues, and then finally winning. And there's a little comment in the chat here from my wife referencing my daughter that we'll get to in a minute, and it references this. winning the county cup. We got unbeaten in the league, and we were playing a team from a different league somewhere else in the county, and they had won their league quite easily. And we were 2-1 down in the 98th minute, equalised. One centre half passed to our other centre half for us to equalise in the 98th minute. Figure that one out.
Brilliant.
And then we won it on penalties, and that ended up being the last game me and Sharon were involved in because Liv's football was taken off and so on. I'd made the decision, didn't tell the players, but I made the decision that week this was going to be it. And I'd never won the cup before, so that was my highlight, winning that county cup on my last occasion involved in football, and so on. Yeah, that was love it, mate. Those memories, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
So going to Sharon's comment saying watching Liv win the county cup and proceed to mug you off. What was the mugging you off all about?
Well, the GFA, the Gloucester County FA, you win the county cup at any level, the medals are all the same because it's a county cup for that thing. So I've got my in the little velvet case, pops open, medal and all this sort of stuff. It's one of my prized possessions. Liv, when her team won the county cup, she went and collected her medal and so on, brought it over. We had a look. I can't remember if Sharon said or I said, and something along the lines of, it's exactly the same as the one that I've got at home. Liv instantly chirped out with, yes, but it didn't take me 10 years. That little girl is sharp, mate. That little girl is sharp.
Well done, Liv.
Yeah. There we go. Shall we scan through the chat, Mr. Mags, before we dive into a little bit of wrestling talk?
We shall. Dan, he confirms that the one PW promoter was a conning shithead. Can't remember his name. I'm sure it was something like Stephen Gauntlet. I think it's Stephen Gauntlet.
That sounds about right. That sounds familiar.
He's a prick. Graham, understable drifts to the right for a backhanded player. Guardian tree. We know what a guardian tree is. It's a tree that blocks the hole. You've got to curl round it with your fucking aerobic frisbee. Hooray.
Yeah. That again, the way he's written that guardian tree in the way of a hole. That sounds like the punk band and the name of their first album, doesn't
it? Their one-hit single.
Yeah.
Graham says, "Sir, if you do attempt disc golf, he recommends fuck you, Graham. Fuck you. An aero as a mid-round. Yeah, because if you're going to do something shit, you might as well eat something shit as well. Enjoy that." King Pig Banner says he won a competition at a festival, Cannibal Corpse t-shirt that featured I need to read these before they come on. The t-shirt features a nun pleasuring herself on the back, and it said,
I'm familiar with that t-shirt, yes.
Feel free to censor that part as it is a bit much. We will leave that. That's a grim t-shirt. Jesus. Is a cunt, clearly. King Pig Bladder, it says it was a drinking competition. Well, I didn't think you were doing laps around the festival. I didn't think it was. It was an egg and spoon race in the middle of a hardcore rock festival.
So that's circle pit.
Dan says awful sounds awful. Well, it does if you say it in Hertfordshire, I suppose.
I'm not from Hertfordshire.
No, I know. You didn't say awful though, did you? You said awful because you're common.
Yeah.
Awful would be like if you said it if you were posh. Graham says there should be a chain wrestling spelling bee at some point down the road. That should be it. We should bring back Mags Visa and do a spelling competition. I think I might win it.
You might just sneak it in there,
yeah. And then Graham also says, on a weightlifting theme, can Mags explain the difference between the snatch and the power jerk, please? Graham, having two boys, I am very surprised you don't know the difference between the snatch and the power jerk. Think about it. Brilliant. Luckily, I've read this one in before, and Dan says, pretty sure the power jerk is the one where you only have 5 minutes till the family get home. I both love and hate the CWF in equal measure. And Aura, she is particularly disgusting in you, Dan. That's very, very rude. Dan says Amir got on up on the sound booth and couldn't get down. I offered him a hand down, and he decided for the shoulder carry. I mean, it's a brilliant image. It really is. It's properly cool.
It's a great pick, isn't it? Really cool pick.
But how did Amir get onto the sound booth and then couldn't get down? Is he only a wee? It didn't look such a wee little chap.
What if Dan wasn't there? Would he have just stayed there for the rest of the show?
Yeah. Help me! I can't get down.
Help!
Graham says he believes it is the Seattle Sounders that do the tree thing. Yeah, good, cool. King Piglet says it's bulls, petanque. It's like bulls, pronounced petanque. Yeah, we get it. It's throwing metal balls. Graham says, I hope someone else mentioned bocce so we can continue this thing. What the fuck is bocce? Explain in the chat what bocce is, Graham. Dan says, somebody on Twitch clip that. Oh my God. Sharon, please get this man. And Sharon just washes her hands of you. Ridiculous. And then Good Cop, Bad Cop says, Dan, I am currently uploading a clip to the Good Cop, Bad Cop account of that classic misspeak. Well, Sir, you're knackered because everyone's going to hear you talking about Ori eating out everybody.
I'm pretty certain that I've had notification to say he's already uploaded it, mate.
Oh, for
so,
God.
Yeah, and he has. There we go.
Brilliant. Apologies, Ori, for my maybe former podcast host here. Ridiculous. Graham says, is cricket like an English version of baseball? No, baseball is rounders. Cricket is a gentleman's sport. Sharon says, I didn't have one at home, so why would I?
No, yeah. Now, what I mean is, I said Sharon might have said it looks just like the one I've got at home. Maybe that's what I meant.
Okay, fair enough. Dan says the floor was covered in beer and he didn't want to slip. Oh, poor little Amir Jordan. I didn't want to slip on the floor, but he has no problems flying off the top rope and smashing his body parts into the canvas, but didn't want to slip on the floor. Graham says bocce is like bulls too. I mean, how many versions of throwing a ball at a stick can you have?
Would you play bowls, Maxie? I reckon that looks great.
Bowls like as in Crown Green bowls?
Yeah.
I've had a go at it.
Spinning around, don't you?
Yeah, I've had a go at it. It's way more difficult than it looks.
Yeah, I bet.
Because the ball is like got a weight in it, so it does that curve thing, and it's so hard to judge not only the length, like how hard you have to throw it, but also how much of a curve you've got to put on it. It's really, really hard work.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I won't bother then.
A guy who was a couple of years younger than me at school, he was in like the national bowls team at like 15. He was really
okay.
Good.
Right.
Yeah. A guy called Ian Marsden, really, really good. And then last one for now says, Dan Griffin, isn't bocce where a wrestling move goes a little bit wrong? So Chris Jericho match then. A bit bocce. But yeah, that's the chat all caught up for now. And I'm going to say earlier this week, the chat has been absolutely stupendous. Really, really good fun. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Gang of legends all round, mate. Gang of legends all round. But shouldn't we maybe, considering we're an hour and a half plus into the show, because we are supposed to be a wrestling podcast, should we talk some wrestling?
We shall.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I won a poll, Mugsy.
I know,
many weeks ago.
You little mardy ass crying for weeks and weeks to make them pick your pick.
Oh, dear. Indeed. That was exactly what I did. I threw my toys out the pram. And the winner of the poll was the Authors of Pain versus DIY from NXT TakeOver Chicago 2017. It's been over a week since I watched this match. Probably best if Magsy, you talk us through it.
No. You'll follow your fucking notes and see what you can remember.
All right then. Okay. First of all, on commentary, Tom Phillips.
Doesn't
No
work for the
issue with
company
that.
anymore.
No. Percy Watson. No idea who that
Doesn't
is.
work. Doesn't work for the company anymore.
Who the fuck was that?
He worked for he didn't get sacked because of that. I think he was a wrestler for about a year or so in WWE and then got moved on to commentary. But Tom Phillips has been cut from the company. Percy got cut, and obviously Nigel McGuinness is in AEW now. So all this commentary team have gone.
Yeah, I just don't remember Percy Watson at all.
No, he wasn't around in the really hot time of NXT. I don't think
Okay.
it's that long after this match that he is gone.
Right. Okay. AOP, when they make their entrance, don't they look badass with those masks and Paul Ellering with them and all that sort of stuff? Don't they look great?
The problem is they're the champions.
And they're coming out
They're
first.
coming out fucking first, and it just it boils your pits.
Yeah, but they come out with their belts, don't they?
Mhm.
So I can kind of understand it here for a ladder match because they come out and then they can hang their belts and just start the match as soon as their opponents come out.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen.
Well, I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just saying that's a possibility.
It is a possibility, but it doesn't happen. The belts are still being attached when we get the ring in ring entrances. So they could have easily come out last night. I get why Ciampa and Gargano were got to come out last is because they're the baby faces and they're the fan favorites. But yeah, it just annoys me when champs don't come
I
out.
agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. The referee is very orange. There's another note I've got here, Matt.
It's Drake Wirtz, the referee who got sacked because he went to a school meeting and cried about the COVID jab while still in his WWE referee shirt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
He's a bit of a tosser.
Obviously so. Oh dear. DIY clear the ring to start and go for the ladders very early. And I suppose there's two ways of doing this, isn't there, with a ladder match? You can leave the ladders outside and just fight for a while and build up to that. Or you can just bite the bullet and go for it straight away, can't you? Just go straight for the ladders, get them involved right away. And one thing I took away from this match, and maybe why the beginning is the way it is so fast and we get the ladders involved so early, it's not as long as I remember it being. It's much shorter than my memory serves.
Yeah.
Or my memory thought, you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it only goes about 20 minutes and you have a memory of it being 30 plus. Like
Yeah, I
really
thought about half hour, yeah.
But yeah, it is a relatively short one, but there were some things that really kind of ground my gears, especially after not watching it in such a long time. The first one, for instance, was when Johnny Gargano and Ciampa went up to opposite sides of the ring to get ladders, and you could see the ladders when they lifted up the curtains. They were stacked right there, and Gargano took forever to go under the ring and pick a ladder. Just little things like that just took me out of the match because the ladder was right there, and he ended up getting the ladders that were right there. It just took forever to do it. It just really kind of aggravated me. And then going later on through the match, there was just little touches that it felt like there was a lot of stalling and maybe the two teams weren't exactly on the same page. But we'll get to them when that part of the match comes up.
With the ladder bit at the beginning then that you mentioned, Gargano taking ages, and you can see that. Would you put that down to the wrestler himself faffing about and being a knobhead, the production not helping him by filming that and showing it on, because you can quite easily show something else whilst that's happening and not have an issue, or is it a bit of both? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's particular. The issue was Gargano faffing about. The production definitely. I think it was just trying too hard to make everything fit together in time. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that Ciampa was perhaps struggling. So Johnny was kind of waiting for Ciampa's cue, and he was essentially stalling, just so they get that kind of like being in sync. And it looked really odd to see someone under a ring and not picking out the ladder, which is right next to you.
Yeah. Okay. Whilst this is going on, though, the Authors of Pain come outside, join DIY, and send them both into the crowd barrier with some pretty nasty looking bumps there.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Some more brawling carries on before ultimately DIY go for the big fucking ladder in the entranceway, the monster high ladder, don't they? And Gargano ends up diving through a ladder onto the Authors of Pain, which I thought was quite. I mean, it's similar sort of dive as normal, just with an extra thing to jump through, but it still looked spectacular, didn't it?
Yeah, and this is this shows the teamwork as well of DIY, because you see Ciampa essentially pulling the middle rope down to just give Johnny that little bit of extra space to dive through. But yeah, I mean it technically doesn't do anything to change the suicide dive, but it does look cool with him diving through the ropes and then through the ladder, especially taking out two beasts like Occam and Razor.
Indeed. We then go for what I say. We DIY go for the I suppose the hardest spot in the corner, where Tommaso Ciampa goes on his hands and knees, acts almost as like a step or a boost up for Gargano.
The
And
Willow, is it Willow in the Wisp move?
I got no idea, but we see the hardest do various
Yeah.
versions of it, don't we? But he's caught in midair and then slammed onto his opponent, and I loved that. I thought that was
Destroyed onto
so good.
Ciampa. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was fantastic.
I mean, I saw the Authors of Pain in a different light, watching through this match, but when it comes to power moves, they were pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're coming to one now. The double power bomb they do, where they pick them both up and they sort of crash their opponents together in the ring and then
Yeah.
power bomb them.
The Super
That-
Collab.
That's the one, yes. And that always looks spectacular. But here, DIY used the momentum to sort of go over the top of their opponents, land on the ladder, and start climbing. And again, I thought that was quite clever as well, because it's using a move that we've seen the Authors of Pain do pretty much every match, but adding something different to it because it's a ladder match and the way they can get out of it and get onto the ladder, if that makes sense.
It does. But when it comes to the ladders with the Authors of Pain, and it's probably my biggest bugbear with the match, they were fucking the slowest climbers.
Yeah.
And I get that you've got to build up the tension, and a lot of wrestlers will take one step and then another one, but these were ridiculous. So really early in the match, and it's almost like I think it was Occam who was attempting the climb first. It's almost like he was terrified of heights. The way it took him a minute to climb one step, and then you'd have Razor holding the other side of the ladder down as if the ladder was going to magically tip because Occam was on it. Yeah, just the way that they were slowly climbing, it showed for me that these two teams weren't exactly in sync, because it just felt like they were clearly delaying, waiting for the move that knocks them off the ladder.
I mean, at one point, the Authors of Pain, they don't just delay and go slowly. They just fucking stop. They literally stop and they're looking around, waiting. And the camera cuts away from them to protect them, which again is a good thing from the production team. AEW, take note. But when they cut back, DIY, jump on and knock them down and all that sort of stuff. But we've already seen them stop, so it kind of takes you out the moment again, doesn't it?
It does.
The big spot, I suppose, Magsy, is the one with the ladders set up on the outside between the ring apron and the barrier,
Yeah.
and they climb the massive ladder in the middle, them being DIY.
These are two other ladders that was under the ring. These aren't the original ladders that were brought out. So essentially, we see 3 different sizes of ladders, and these are like the middle ones. So the Authors of Pain retrieve these ladders, and instead of wanting to go in the ring with them, oh no, they go and basically go to the entrance ramp and put the ladders, like you said, across from the ring to the barriers to essentially make 2 tables.
Yeah.
With the aim of putting Ciampa and Gargano through them, but as is the rule in wrestling, he who sets it up must go through it. And again, this is another kind of little mark that these 2 teams were exactly in sync. It takes the minimal of attack to get the Authors of Pain to lie down on these ladders, and they are led there for an age, like way too long.
I don't know which is worse. You've got the one guy, because they've both been punched and kicked a couple of times. There's nothing major to sort of hold them there for that long. You've got the one guy who effectively plays dead. He lies down and he's done.
Yeah.
You got the other one who's like, "Oh, I'm hurt," and he's rolling around, and I'm thinking, stay still, mate, because you look ridiculous. Then I look at his partner and I'm like, oh, you just took one jab to the face and you're out cold. You look ridiculous as well. It's like either way for me, they couldn't get it. It wouldn't go right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and what makes it worse, I suppose, is when you and this happens quite a few times. You'll see DIY looking at whatever they're going to do, and they look for a long time, like for ages. I mean, from the entrance ring where we saw Ciampa and Gargano staring at the ladder, and then when they decide to go and get the big ladder, they're looking at it for ages before they go to it. And at this one, they look at the big ladder again, and it's almost like they go into Homer Simpson mode, and you're waiting for the thought to load, and then yes, let's climb this ladder, and it does kind of, it slows the pacing of the match down. And in 2017, this would have been absolutely amazing because you're getting that build up and you kind of in that same mindset. But watching it back 7 years later, you think, why are you taking so long? These guys would not be on the ladders for this long for you to be able to pull off this maneuver. But what a fucking good maneuver it is, though.
But they damn near killed themselves. The pair of them. They both jump off the ladder and splash through their relevant opponent, I suppose, each go through the table. Gargano was the one at first I thought overshot because he hits and goes straight over.
I mean, we get multiple replays of it. He essentially does, like you said, he overshoots the splash, which means the ladder doesn't go through, which means he's hitting a hard surface, and he ends up doing actually a full flip and landing on the ringside. Ciampa's, at least he does go through, but the crunch of the ladder, that must have hurt. There's no way it doesn't.
Yeah. We eventually everyone starts getting up, and we have more brawling, more fighting on the outside, and we're back to sort of resetting for the next big moment, I suppose, Max, which is the nature of these kind of matches, I suppose. We come to the fighting on the top of the ladders now. Everyone's on top of the ladders, brawling with each other, and everyone falls down, apart from Johnny Gargano.
Well, Johnny Gargano actually jumps from one ladder to the other ladder, which it's a Kofi Kingston style spot. I think he's really well done. And then in comes Paul Ellering.
With all the pace of a snail.
And he looks around as well before he even attempts to get involved. And all he does is he just holds Johnny's foot for a little while. And that wouldn't have brought you down. You'd have just kicked him off and away you go. But for his troubles, he does eat a super kick.
Yes, he does. He does. Gargano did also, as we mentioned earlier on, he did the hanging around waiting moment for Ellering to come in and grab him, which again kind of takes you out the moment a bit, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Mhm.
The Authors of Pain, then, I enjoyed this. They use a ladder to lift Tommaso Ciampa up. They're almost picking him up with a ladder under his chin to hold him up and so on. And they're going to drill him with the ladder. They're going to smash him with it. But Gargano pushes him out of the way and takes the hit himself.
Which, again, and it feels a little bit nitpicky, but there's a delay between Gargano offering himself as tribute and him actually getting hit. When he gets hit, it looks devastating because of the way he sells it. It almost looks like he's been uppercutted by this ladder, the way his head snaps back. But there's a second delay, but it's so long, it's noticeable. It's not Johnny gets in the way and then takes the shot. There's time for them to line the shot up, and it just feels like these two teams were out of sync. And looking back at it, it really is a detriment to the match.
Yeah, okay. The Authors of Pain are now up the ladder. They actually got this ladder on this occasion with a little bit of pace to them. They actually look like they're on a bit of a mission to go and get the belts for the first time in the match. Before Tommaso Ciampa it's not a full German suplex because of the size difference between the guys and the angle he's at. He's up the ladder and so on. But he kind of German suplexes one of the Authors of Pain through another ladder behind them off the ladder he's climbing on. And I look at it and I think, there's no way you can do that without it fucking hurting. Sure.
Yeah. So there's been a ladder essentially set up in the corner, kind of like how you would set a table up if you were going to throw your opponent through it. And we see Ciampa really struggling to get, I think that was Ockham, to let go of the ladder. And it starts as a German, but then kind of turns into almost like a side suplex, like because there's no way that Ciampa he's got the room to do the full kind of like release German. But yeah, that looks brutal. But when he goes through the ladder, you can see that the ladder's made out of wood. Like you always think that these ladders are metal because they look metal. You can hear the clanging of metal, but you see the wood splinters. So they're conning us. They're conning us. It's not real metal ladders. Ridiculous.
Do you know why now that they climb the ladders to go to the belts, don't they? They're heading up there. They look like they're going to be victorious. The ladder gets removed. They're left dangling with the belts.
Again, this is something that it felt contrived because you could see when Johnny was putting the ladder where it was, he was kind of placing the Authors of Pain's foot in the right position, which kind of telegraphs what's going to happen. The way that they waited and positioned not only the ladder but their opponents, because when they get to the top of the ladder and they're reaching for the titles, the ladder gets kicked out from underneath them. And it was just those little moments that normally those would be hidden and you wouldn't notice them. But in this match, I noticed so many things like that. That it really did affect how, not the enjoyment of the match, but how high I would rate it, I think.
I hate the spot where somebody is dangling from the top, where the belts are, because they normally fall and take a bump.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just do that with a fucking belt in their hand and win the match?
I mean,
it makes zero sense.
Tell me that the edge spear into Jeff Hardy wasn't cool though.
Oh yeah, that it creates some cool moments, but again, you sort of just look even just a tiny bit into it, and you're thinking, makes no sense.
Yeah, you just literally rip the belt off the whatever it is and drop. That does make the sense, but yeah, you've got to hold on and dangle your legs. And this is where we get another power bomb super collider, which I think is a brilliant move, especially for two big like hotters like AOP.
And that's it then. That's the end. They hit that move. They catch them off the top
No,
where
no.
they're dangling. Hit
It's
them
not
with
the end because they've got to get the belts, haven't they?
Yes.
And do they climb up as slow as they did when the match was only 3 or 4 minutes in and they were very fresh? No, they fucking do not. They fucking sprint up that ladder. So there was absolutely no reason why they were going so stupidly slow in the rest of the match, and they're up that ladder in seconds to grab those titles. The faking, bullshitting bastards.
I don't quite know how to respond to this because we
What
know
we're-
wrestling's predetermined. I don't
No,
understand what
but-
you're getting upset at.
It's not that I'm getting upset. It's just that you were going really, really slow in the match, as if this was either terrifying or you were so gassed that you couldn't breathe. But 20 minutes in, when you've been put through ladders, you've been absolutely destroyed. You can run up a ladder to get the titles. Why did
It doesn't
you not
make
do
any
that?
sense from a
Yeah,
storyline standpoint, does it?
No, absolutely not.
And then obviously after the match, we get the famous Gargano turn. He beats the fuck out of Tommaso Ciampa turn. He beats the fuck out of Gargano. I remember watching this when it aired and going, "Oh my god!" because I didn't see that coming. Call me naive as much as you like, but I didn't see it coming. I thought it was quite a moment.
It's a really well done turn as well.
Yep.
Because there's meaning behind it. Basically, I think a couple of weeks after he does he comes out on the weekly NXT show and says that when he was injured, the fans were instantly looking at who could replace him, even though DIY he thought was something special between him, Gargano, and the fans. But as soon as he was out of the picture, they were looking at who could be Gargano's dream tag team partner. And he said, "But I'm not replaceable, and I have to go away for a long time because I'm injured. So Johnny has to go away for a long time. And when I come back, I'm going to be the biggest, toughest son of a bitch NXT has ever seen." And he did do that because Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa was a brilliant change of character for him.
Indeed. So then, Magsy, final thoughts, and out of 10, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Dave Meltzer give this 4.25.
Okay.
And a lot of the consensus at the time was that this was an amazing match. And I remember thinking at the time, wow, that's blow my man, that's brilliant. But watching it back with the point of critiquing it, there's so much wrong with this match. It's badly paced. The two teams don't look like they're on the same page a lot of the time. There's so many stalls and delays that just take you out of the match. I can't go anywhere near 4.5, which would equate to what, a 9. I was perhaps thinking 6, maybe 5.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it's because I know that Ciampa and Gargano can do so much better, but I can't put all the blame on this going wrong to just the Authors of Pain, because they've had great matches as well. So it can't just be poor opponents. This just feels that it maybe wasn't their day, and that at the moment the match was taking place, there was a lot of kind of thoughts that they could have took a shit in the ring and it would have got 4.5 stars. And that's what it feels like it did, that they took a shit in the ring. So yeah, I'm going with 5.5.
Wow.
I talked myself into it.
Okay. I've got 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. I totally see where you're coming from with the stuff that takes you out of it. Certain moments annoyed me more than others, but at the same time, I still had a good time watching this match. So
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the work. When you notice one thing going wrong, and then another, and then another, and then another, it kind of builds up. Like I was literally watching then to see what else would kind of go wrong rather than
right,
the match.
okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, well, there you go. We disagree on a score by quite a way for the first time in a little while. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if we'll disagree next week with whatever wins the poll. Magsy, where would you like to go?
Well, this is a simple link to me. I don't have to be contrived. It's Paul Ellering. Paul Ellering was the manager of AOP. He was also the manager of a much better tag team in the Road Warriors or the Legion of Doom. And I'm putting forward a match that I put forward a while ago and it got beat. So I'm throwing it in the hat again. I'm going to In Your House 16, Canadian Stampede, and the 10-man tag team match of the Heart Foundation versus Gold Dust, Ken Shamrock, Steve Austin, and the Legion of Doom.
Okie doke. I have actually stuck with NXT.
Oh
this
my,
is the
you
last.
have got more faces than Big Ben. You literally said, I hope we come away from NXT after this one.
Yeah, but there's one more match I feel I've got to put forward.
Okay.
Various conversations online about a certain tag team that people are saying are this, that, the other. And I've also had a great run in NXT as well. My link is DIY. I would like to go to DIY versus the Revival from NXT TakeOver Toronto 2016.
Okay. Great pick. I hope mine wins because I thought we'd had a friendly agreement to leave NXT now, but clearly
I didn't. No, hang on. I didn't think that was the case because I would have happily left NXT. I thought we were staying with NXT.
Well, we may be. See what next week brings.
But this is my last NXT pick because I'm exhausted of NXT now. I'm kind of done. As much as I'm enjoying it, I think we need to move on.
Okay. So you know what then, folks. Canadian Stampede.
There you go. I'll vote for you, Max. We the options on the poll on this week's Chain Wrestling Live to decide where we head next week are as follows: the 10-man tag from In Your House 16, Canadian Stampede. So many people involved: Legion of Doom, Steve Austin, the Heart Foundation, that insane crowd as well. Absolutely incredible main event. Or DIY versus the Revival, NXT TakeOver Toronto 2016 for the NXT Tag Team Championships. At Chain_Wrestling on Twitter is where the poll will be up later in the week. Vote, retweet, etc., and you decide where we go next Monday. That's the whole nature of the last 150 plus episodes, and I think it's what makes us a little unique, mate.
It is. I mean, unique or just different, special.
That all kind of means the same thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just providing context. That's all.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Magsy, should we jump across to Hogan being a big bullshitter, or do we need to check the chat?
We'll go to. I mean, I've got to find the video first, but yeah, we'll go to Hulk Hogan telling porkies.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Liar, pants on fire, hanging from a telephone wire. Squirming, pants are burning. When I lie, my hips start turning.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Look, man, I made a mistake.
So, according to Mr. Belair, old Billy Bullshitter, he said that on the set of Rocky 3, that Sylvester Stallone was a really good sport because if word got out that Hogan had power slammed him so hard that blood squirted out of his mouth on impact, Hulk would have been blacklisted from Hollywood. So he essentially saying he slammed Sylvester Stallone, though, I mean, at that time, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, so hard that he caused internal injuries. Fuck off, Hogan, you bullshitting cunt.
That's a lot of nonsense, isn't it? That's a load of lies.
It's
It
just
really is.
of things to lie about. He just plucks his stories out of thin air.
I wonder what goes on in his head. No, I don't want to know. Actually, no, that's a scary thought. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Probably still thinks about Bubba the Love Sponge's wife.
Yeah, probably. In the chat then, Magsy, do we have anything there before we depart?
We have got Aura. She says that Tom Phillips is now doing commentary for TNA with Matthew Raywald. Apologies for that, but aired in English. And
Okay.
Ori told me recently that she's actually been on Twitch with aired in English. She went she went to a show or a signing, and she took him some food, and he was very, very happy with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we've got Graham saying, "Oh my God, I've got tears running down my face. Great segment, guys." Well, this is we only talk the bollocks. It's you guys that bring the content.
We just talk the bollocks. Mags, where can people find your good self online?
Here, and this is good for the audio, but it's at Podfather Mags on TikTok, where I put videos of chickens being chickens and veg gardens being veg gardens. I also have an X/Twitter account at Podfather Mags, but I only really check it for this show. So there's probably no point following me there. But if you want to, you are more than welcome.
There you go. Okay. You can find anything I'm involved in via the network that carries this show. And that's at SJP World Media on Facebook and Twitter. You have obviously Chain Wrestling Live on a Monday night. We also have live coverage of football throughout the Euros and the Premier League and so on with the brilliant guys from the Volley doing fantastic work there. More wrestling content if you're interested. Nitro Nights looking at WCW week by week. Tyler's Takedowns looking at various different wrestling events from the past and present. Fantastic stuff he does. We've got In the Corner with Benny Mac looking at modern day WWE with various co-hosts there as well. I love In the Corner. Absolutely fantastic show. It's really, really good stuff. It keeps me up to date with what's going on in WWE without me having to watch all of WWE. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of it, Max, isn't there? Let's be fair. We've got music, we've got TV, we've got all sorts going on. So make sure you're following SJP World Media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and all that great stuff. But most importantly, you can find and follow this show itself on Facebook and Twitter. And Twitter, X, is the most important because that's where the non-wrestling topic goes. That's where your poll goes. That's at chain_wrestling. It's at chain_wrestling. And again, fantastic, Magsy. The amount of responses we've got for our non-wrestling topic, everyone in the chat joining in. We say it all the time, but this show is their show, isn't it?
Yeah. If it wasn't for the CWF and everybody in the chat getting involved, it would be two pillocks for about 20 minutes reviewing a match. You guys make this show, and we cannot thank you enough for it.
Indeed. There we go. There we go. Magsy, I'm off now to listen to some AC/DC records because I'm going to see them on Wednesday and I'm crazy excited. I'll see you next week, my friend.
Barry Windham is a Swiftie.